ground.
What's up, guys? It's Quinn.
It's Alex.
It's Iconic Comic. We're back, and we're ready to review Kingsman 2, The Golden Circle. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. That means we're not going to give away any plot points. We're just going to give our quick positives and our negatives and a quick score at the end so you guys can make a decision whether or not to go see this movie. Spoiler alert, you should go see this movie. So, and if you want to go see our immediate reaction to all these movies and TV shows, make sure you go check us out on the Stardust app. You can go check out a couple of our past videos. We explained what the app is, but just get the Stardust app. Follow us at Iconic Comic, and you can see our reactions to movies and stuff.
Definitely.
But take it away. First thoughts, Kingsman 2.
You have to talk about the fight scenes. The fight scenes are fantastic. Just the way they're shot with the camera work. Because we're so used to fight scenes, you can't just have your normal, like, I'm gonna call it your Mortal Kombat fight scene, where it's two-dimensional, like 1v1, right there. And with, how movies progressed, they started to turn a little bit. But with Kingsman, it was just totally different the way they were shooting these camera angles. Because it was like what you were saying, it like changes points of view multiple times throughout.
It feels like you're a referee.
Yeah.
Like in an MMA fight.
Like you're just like right in it.
Right on top of the action. And I think when you're talking about fight scenes, and you're talking about some of the best fight scenes of all time, I'm not going to say a specific... Well, the church scene in the first one is probably one of the best of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say that any of the fight scenes in this movie lived up to that church scene, but collectively, I think there were more fight scenes... I think there were more fight scenes in this movie, and they were better collectively.
Because, like, the fight scenes in this one were really, really good. But then it's like, well, but that church scene. Like, they were all kind of compared to the church scene.
But it's like that movie, it had other fight scenes, but, like, that was the pinnacle.
Yeah.
This movie, it was, like, a bunch of really well put together fight scenes.
Now,
and collectively, it added up to amazing.
I do want to run something by you about the fight scenes. With the fight scenes, do you think that they kind of, held your hand through the fight scene?
I think it's the opposite. Actually,
here's what you should focus on.
I actually think the opposite, because the way it's both sporadic and because here's the thing. We all know the Bourne trilogy, the way they shot fight scenes. They invented the shaky cam fight scenes.
Yeah, the shaky cam, but that can get really annoying.
But because Kingsman, and the way I said it was, they do shaky cam without it feeling like shaky cam, meaning that they kind of like the camera's moving a lot, and they like follow all the action. To me, that makes me focus on different things.
Yeah, and it
doesn't feel like they're guiding me through it. It feels like I'm like, oh, now it's this thing. Oh my god, now it's this thing. Like, oh my god.
Like, most of our moments were when it was fast-paced, boom, 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 and then slow. That was when
they didn't overuse the slow motion.
They didn't overuse it. Like the part in the trailer, with the lasso, I feel like that got most of the slow motion parts. Yeah,
there was just a few. So I don't want to spend too much time talking about one particular thing. The story, we're not going to get into plot points. Obviously, this is a non-spoiler review, but the story, I think, was not, I wouldn't say similar to the first one, but just as corny, but that's a good thing.
I didn't think it was...
Like the evil plot behind Julianne Moore's character.
The motive of the villain I thought was corny, but it worked because
that's the point.
That's what Kingsman is. It is a little corny.
It's the cheesy James Bond movies we used to watch, like with, the later Sean Connery ones, and then, the really bad Pierce Brosnan ones, where it's like super over the top cheese, but they add a level of gravitas to it with the actors, and it's good acting where you're like, okay, this is this world. these are the rules they've set, and I'm into it. So the evil plot set by Julianne Moore, we're not going to get into the specifics. It was very, on par with the corniness of Samuel L. Jackson's evil schemes. Yeah. But like I said, I bought it. But I just said Julianne Moore. The cast, they act their asses off.
Top notch.
In a movie that's super goofy, but like I said, in a good way.
Yeah.
They're the reason you buy it.
You just bought it. Yeah.
They're the reason.
Exactly.
Colin Firth is back as Harry. Obviously, you saw in the trailers. It's not a spoiler unless you haven't seen trailers, which then what are you doing on our channel? Sorry. And then I'm getting really into this Taron Egerton guy. Played Eggsy.
Yeah.
I think he could be a movie star. He's got the potential. But don't do this thing, and I don't want Hollywood to do this thing, because we've seen it before where Hollywood wants to, make this guy a movie star. So they're, pushing them in our face. Like Jai Courtney, when he was, in everything, and Sam Worthington from Avatar, when he was, in everything for a little bit. And it's yeah, he's not going to be that guy. He's not going to be the Tom Cruise. Just pick the good movies that you find your fit in, and you're going to make your way in Hollywood. Because this kid is
good.
He's good with emotion. He's got great comedic timing, and he's athletic. He can do his fight scenes.
Definitely. I do want to touch on the Colin Firth thing. With him, great actor. I'm not going to talk about that, but I think the trailers just gave away too much.
Yeah.
That's one of my only drawbacks from this movie, and it's not a spoiler because it was in the trailers when they showed him with shaving his neck. It's we know
he's alive.
We know he's alive.
They didn't give away any plot to what his character is going to be doing in the film, which I was surprised. There's still surprises in this movie. You're going to be surprised at points, and overall, I think the trailers didn't give away too much. But I feel like emotionally, maybe not emotionally, but the shock factor, if we wouldn't have seen the trailer and we just walked in and then boom, Harry's back.
Oh, I just have something for the spoiler review.
I think it would have hit harder.
Yeah.
I think it would have hit harder. So acting, I'm really into the music. I'm really into the...
Which is Phil. Whatever.
That was a fart.
Yeah.
I'm really into the music in both parts. In what I'm talking about score, because the Kingsman theme, I'm digging. The first movie, I was like, yeah, I'm digging this theme. In this movie, they kind of hit it a little harder.
Yeah, it's good.
They played it a lot. I'm yeah, it's a good theme. But then they also almost Guardians of the Galaxy us and had a soundtrack with the fight scenes. Really just specifically the fight scenes, but it worked. I'm not going to get into the specific songs, but each of the fight scenes had a pop rock song, but they didn't just go, we're playing this. Where's it coming from? We don't know. No, there was a reason why the song was playing, but it fit with the fight scene.
It made sense.
And it amped up the action factor for me, because most of them, the songs were high-paced, and so were the fight scenes. Yeah. So it almost followed the pace of the fight scene.
Yeah, and I think when you have fight scenes, that's really important because it's different watching them. If you watch a fight scene now, you need something to, follow with the rhythm and stuff like that. Old movies with the Bruce Lee really didn't have that much music.
Yeah.
Now, we need something to hold our attention.
But I will say, if you, the few times that we get a silent fight scene, it's super intense because now we're so used to
now it's rare to see something just
the Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee in a Coliseum.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah,
but now we've got this music, and you can nod your head to it and watch this fight scene.
It's kind of like overstimulation.
But not being over. It's right in that line.
When a kid's playing...
riding the lightning.
A kid's playing with, the toys that, shoot the balls up, and they go back in, and they just keep, shooting up. It's
oh my
God! Real quick, I guess, we'll talk about the negatives. I would say my only negatives were... I wanted a little bit more Channing Tatum. I'm not going to get into the details why, but I think he was underused. underused in the movie.
Definitely.
I think Halle Berry was slightly underused. I wanted a little bit more of her character, just development. I think she was in it enough.
Yeah,
just develop it a little bit more.
More development with her.
And then there were a few times where it felt like joke, too many jokes in a row, but not often. But that's all. But that's gonna happen. It happens in Marvel movies too. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I felt like
Age of
almost
Ultron, dude.
not plots, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and this movie, just the style felt almost similar. Like the way the fight scenes, they follow the people and they have a soundtrack to them, and then they have an awesome theme behind them, and it's comedic, but sometimes the comedy hits too many points in a row before you get the seriousness.
Have you noticed that a lot of movies after Guardians
are trying to hit the Guardians notes?
They're trying to do that with regular
But I think this
songs.
one does it well. This one does it well.
Not too much, yeah.
Some movies do it, they overdo it, and they don't do it well. But that's really my only negatives. The acting to me is on point.
It's great. Yeah.
Action's on point. The story is so cheesy, but you know what? They've set that up in the first one that that's what they're going for, so I buy it. So yeah. Any negatives?
I thought there may have been one or two points when it was kind of like an info dump. Just like to catch you up, like our understanding of the plot was here, but it was like here. Oh crap!
And the characters had to catch us up.
Like they had to catch us up.
Someone had to ask a question.
Yeah, like one or two times, and then but then you bought it. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It was not to the level of Transformers: The Last Night, where it was
good.
Where you get to like 3/4 of the way movie, or 3/4 of the way through the movie, and then you get an hour and a half of info dump.
Good googly
caught up into one scene. No, but there were some scenes. I agree with you. That was just kind of.
And I've got one in my head right now, and I'll wait till the spoiler
We'll talk
review.
about that in the spoiler review. But overall, I had a fun time. This was
so
probably the most fun I've had in the theater since Guardians 2. The most fun.
Bold statement.
Since.
Bold.
I'm not saying it's more fun. I'm saying since Guardians 2.
It's definitely.
It's the most fun. I'm not saying it's a better movie than things like Wonder Woman and movies like that, but just from an aspect of entertainment, I had so much fun with this movie. And these are movies that I could rewatch over and over again, not because I missed stuff, but just because they're a good time. Like, if I'm feeling down, this is the movie I put in. So I'm going to give this movie a solid... I'm going to give it a 7.75 out of 10.
7.75?
Do you think I'd go higher?
I thought you would go higher, because I was thinking, he's probably going to give it an 8.5.
No, I'm going 7.75, because I don't... The more I pondered on it, this is not better than the original, because the original kind of hit us out of nowhere. It's like Guardians 2 wasn't better than the first Guardians. First Guardians punched us in the mouth. This one, we were expecting it to live up, and I think it lived up. I don't think it, blew us out of the water. And I gave the first Kingsman about an 8, so I'm going to give this one a 7.75.
I'm going to give this one an 8, just because I thought it was a solid movie. And when you have one movie and then it gets a sequel, I don't think it's good when you prefer the sequel to the original.
Winter Soldier.
Right. Like, I think you should enjoy the first one just as much as the sequel. So the series itself, or maybe the trilogy.
Oh, he was talking about he wants The Rock to be in the next one.
Maybe the trilogy itself.
I don't want The Rock to be in the next one.
Can be strong as a whole.
Yes.
Which this made me want to go back, watch the first one again, and then watch the other one again.
Because honestly, I hadn't watched the first one in about a year.
It's been a while.
In about a year. And I hope they don't wait long to kick into pre-production for the next one.
Yeah.
Because I think this deserves to be a trilogy. How cool this... It's a great concept. And it was a comic book, so this is a comic book movie. So it's not like original, like from the director's standpoint. But this is such a cool concept that I don't want it to just go 1, 2, and die off. I think 3, and then I'm okay with cutting it off.
I just really hope that they don't try to make the story drastically different.
No.
But we'll get into that more.
And before I end, they didn't set it up for a third one, which is great. Because
then you don't-
it left the door open. There were things at the end, and we'll get into it in the spoiler review. There were things at the end where, like, well, they could do this, this, and this because of the things that happened at the end of the movie, but they weren't like, here's the villain, ba-ba-bum. So it's like the third movie is going to be able to stand on its own without having to ride on the coattails of this one. So that's what I really liked about the end of it. So we got 7.75 here, 8 there. Overall, guys, we urge you,
Go see this movie.
go support this movie, especially if you are a fan of the first one and you want to see this be a full-fledged trilogy. You got to support it, because if it doesn't earn the money, they're not going to make another one. So go support this movie, and if you like this video, make sure you like,
comment,
share,
and subscribe.
So you don't miss a single thing from the channel.
Make sure you stay tuned.
Stay iconic.
And cue music.
Holy Grail.